Hi guys, how are you? The Lord gave me a message to give you guys, and it's just something we should always be cautious of, but especially around this season. And I know it's a very common sense type of message, but at the same time, sometimes we are either tricked into over discussing, or sometimes we just over discuss things that don't even need to be discussed. And sometimes that's how we end up speaking too much about what it is that we are doing. A lot of times we give away our prophecies sometimes without even knowing we're giving it away, just by discussing little details. People can obviously connect the dots, right? So what he was saying is, this season, whatever projects or ideas that he has specifically given you, he wants you guys to be cautious of who you're discussing these ideas and plans with. And most of the times it's out of excitement. You may end up overly discussing some things without even realizing you're doing it with the wrong people. Even if it's just strangers, you still got to be careful, because in this season, well, in general, but right now, it's kind of like a lot of you guys are entering new doors, and these doors are connected to the projects that God has you working on. A lot of it is things that you guys have given up on in the past, and God has brought you right back to it. He has restored your love for specific things. Old talents that you had that you haven't been working on, that now you're finally going to be consistent with, but also new talents, new things that you realize that you like to do, that the Lord is venturing you in and allowing you to turn that into a business, into a career, into whatever it is he needs you to turn it into, but you are going to be fruitful at it, right? So he wants you guys to just be cautious of who you discuss these things with. And reason being is because a lot of you guys are going to get overly excited about things, okay? And sometimes I'm going to give you some examples, because it's a very layered message, and it's very deep the way he explained it to me, and I'm trying to figure out how to articulate to you guys. Let's just say that you're a fashion designer, you want to get into fashion, okay? And you're trying to find the right people to work with you, because you don't want to hire on the wrong people, or you don't want the wrong people on your team. You want people who want to see you win, right? But at the same time, when you're starting out, it's very hard to find the right people. So let's just say you go to someone for fabric. You want to get fabric so you can make what it is that you want to make, right? And you know exactly how you want the fabric to look, or what type of fabric you need, how you want the design to look. And you go to a store, or you go to a vendor who's going to be supplying your fabric, and the vendor starts asking you questions about what type of fabric you're looking for, what your project is, what are you working on. And some people, that's how they make small talk, and that's how they make conversation and small talk and all that stuff. But because you don't know who the person is, it's not to say God doesn't want you to be friendly, but like I tell you guys all the time, God has people working in different professions, and so does the devil, right? And a lot of times people don't even realize they're being used from the enemy until it's too late, until they end up doing something based on their heart already being hardened, right? It's not to say that you have to be careful of every single person you're around and talk to, but you just have to take heed. And let's just say that the person selling you the fabric starts asking you questions. You already told the person what type of fabric you want. Let's just say you want silk, and you said, I want silk, right? And they give you silk, and you're like, that's perfect. That's the perfect type of silk I want. That should be the end of it. You get the silk, you know what I mean? And you buy the silk, you like the material, you stick with them as a vendor or whatever, right? Compared to you go there, you say you want silk, and then they give you the silk, you say it's perfect, and then they start asking you all these other questions. Oh, so what type of business are you opening? What type of outfits are you gonna create? What are the names of all these outfits? And then you start going into details about your business. You start going into details about the unique names for each clothing that you have. Then you start going into like the logo. Then you start talking about what's next in your business. What are the next plans? What are the next steps? And that's all extra details that are being discussed that you don't really need to be discussed. That doesn't need to be discussed. You went there for your fabric. You get your fabric. You thank the person for your fabric, and then you go, right? But sometimes we're tricked because children are very friendly. We end up talking to people. We end up just opening up. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that the fabric designer is evil or bad. No, I'm just using that as an example to explain to you guys how sometimes we can be led astray when it comes to talking too much without even realizing we're talking too much. Because you could be talking to someone who also wants to be a fashion stylist or a fashion designer, and they can literally be taking every single note of your design, of your project, and wanting to take it from you. You get what I'm saying? Saying, that's a good idea. I'm going to try to hurry up and do it before him or her. Or I'm going to follow these exact footsteps they're doing, and I'm going to just copy their whole thing, but just change the names of it. And next thing you know, there's someone that is basically stealing your ideas. Or next thing you know, because the person, the vendor knows, wow, that's a good idea, that's going to be successful. They can already see, based on you talking too much about it, they can already see it's going to be successful. It's something that's going to be prosperous because the way you explained your details, it's very organized, and they've never seen anything like it on the internet before, or any website like that, or any type of clothing like that. So now it's like, now they may have malicious intentions without even realizing that that's what their motive was from the beginning. It may just be a form of jealousy and envy without even realizing it, because most of the times people don't plan to be jealous. They don't plan to be envious. They don't plan to be jealous. It's an emotion that just comes out of nowhere. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes people may like you 1 minute, and then next minute, once they hear about your goals, your plans, and they see it's promising because you're very educated and because you know exactly what you're doing, and when you hear something, it sounds like it's going to work, and then jealousy can come out of it. Next thing you know, let's just say that vendor, like I said, again, it's an example. I'm saying that to let you know, because I'm not trying to accuse any vendor or anything like that. But let's just say now, because she starts being jealous of you, now she don't want to sell you the fabric no more. And that was the only vendor that you found after searching for so long that actually had the material that you wanted. But because you discussed a little bit too much of what it is that you're doing, the little jealous monster took a hold of her spirit, and now she don't want to sell you the fabric no more. Now she's not contacting you back. Now she's ignoring your emails, and now you got to go and look for a whole new vendor. Yeah, she wasn't a vendor for you in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Because when God brings people to work with you, he's gonna bring people who are honest. He's gonna bring people who like you, who are level-headed. But sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes you are going to have people in the workplace that are not going to be too fond of you, and you're exactly where God needs you to be, except you're around people that don't like you. There's a lot of people that are like, Steph, I'm following my passion, following my dream, and where God led me. He told me to start working here, but why would he want me to work where there's a lot of employees who are negative and don't like me? It doesn't matter where you go. You being a child of God, you're going to always be around someone, or there's always going to be that person that is out for you or that doesn't like you. That's why they say new levels, new devils, because you're going to always have an encounter with someone who is up against you. But you can avoid certain things by not discussing too much. You see what I mean? You have to play the game of chess and not checkers. When you play chess, you don't let people know what your next move is and what you're gonna do. You just do it, right? It's the same concept with your ideas and your plans. You know what I mean? You don't discuss too much of what you're gonna do. And like I said, most of the times you're either tricked into talking too much because someone starts asking all these questions, you don't think nothing of it, and then you start just communicating everything. And then sometimes you overly speak too much based on just being too friendly, and you're giving away ideas, you're telling people your business, and you could be talking to the very person who's trying to block you. So it can be like a family member. Let's just say you're in school, you're going to school for business, and you already know what type of business you're going to open because God already told you. and let's just say you're living with family now, and you're telling your sister or your brother about all the people that you've already met who want to come on board when it comes to your business. And that brother may be the very person that has been doing things to try to block you. You know what I mean? So sometimes out of overexcitement, we just talk too much. And we just have to know when enough is enough and how much to say. You get what I'm saying? You can answer a question without giving too much details, right? So in this season, when it comes to your ideas and your plans and what you're working on, just stick to the game of chess and forget checkers, okay? Like, just be silent with your moves and where you're heading, and be silent when it comes to specific details. People don't need to know all the details, okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.